It's midday deep into the Arctic, and after a morning fishing expedition in glacial waters, these containers are overflowing with cod. Its final destination is the European Union, a union Norway is not a member of, but which is its largest client. 95% of Norway's products are destined for Western Europe, which consumes, among other things, Norway's high-quality fish. And for the most part, Norway can export it free from tariffs.
Pour le poisson blanc, il y a quelques espèces.
For whitefish, there are a few types that have low tariffs, near 3.4%. But for the more important kinds of fish, like cod, haddock, coalfish, or halibut, there are no tariffs.
Flétan, il n'y a pas de droits de douane.
However, tariff barriers can increase when fish is transformed, like smoked salmon. That's because when it comes to fishing and agriculture, 10% of all the goods Norway sends to the EU every year, Norway remains outside Europe's single market. It negotiated those sectors separately in order to maintain greater control over its natural resources. In exchange, Norway contributes 1.8 billion euros to the EU every 5 years, almost as much as it would pay in if it were a member state. Except because it isn't one, the country gets no say when it comes to European regulations.
We are fully member of the single market, and we are fully member of Schengen. And I think we are one of the nations, even not as an EU member, then when it comes to implementing all the directives that are decided. So we like to stay close to the European Union, but of course, not being a member of the European Union.
A firm no to EU membership was established by 2 referendums in 1972 and 1994. Since then, Norway has adopted more than 6,000 regulations voted on by the European Union and more or less behaves like a member state. For example, this research center in Tromsø gets funding from Brussels, like a recent 9.5 million euro grant to study food consumption habits. This Greek researcher who works there has been living in Norway for 30 years.
Once you have a work contract, everything else becomes, it's very easy actually. It becomes very, very easy to arrange the rest.
Just like Norwegians who move to the EU, European workers are free to come to Norway. Whether it's students on Erasmus or those who come for jobs, Norway is open to all. But it has a clear preference for the best and brightest.
We want to attract the best candidate for the job, independent of ethnicity or nationality. So if it's a person from Spain that is better than a Norwegian, our scientists and scientific directors would actually prefer taking the Spanish instead of the Norwegian.
Nofima is one of Europe's biggest research centers. And while the EU sees this Scandinavian nation as a model student of integration, Norway prefers to keep one foot in and one foot out.